evening and welcome to the Daily Report. My name is Victor Moyakane. On sign language this evening is my fellow anchor, Catherine Simaloy. This is a special day. It's a day of remembrance. It's a day that we remember a decade ago, our lives were shattered in form of an attack on our consciousness, on our people, on our commercial capital, and of course, in the heart of our nation. And we shall be spending a little bit of time talking about that. And a little bit later on, we'll talk about inclusivity, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. But for now, the highlights.
Tonight, exactly a decade following one of the most devastating terror attacks in Kenya's history, what lessons have been learned? We did a spot check in some places to find out. Heavy rains in the western region of the country have caused severe flooding, impacting hundreds of residents in Budalangi.
Sisi tunaathirika na maji natusumbua. Tunahama kutoka huko Mabinzu.
Residents are now grappling with safety concerns as they have been compelled to evacuate their homes. And bipartisan discussions between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio have encountered another obstacle.
Further unbundle, realign some of the issues that may not be in line with the express mandate.
Let us not speculate on other issues that were not part of our engagement.
As a number of contentious issues have emerged for further deliberation.
The western region of the country has experienced heavy rains leading to severe flooding that has affected hundreds of residents in Budalangi. The residents are now living in fear for their safety as they have been compelled to evacuate their homes. Eric Matika with more on that.
While heavy rain continues to be witnessed in different parts of the country, residents of Budalangi in western region of the country are in fear of their safety because of floods resulting from heavy rains that have been witnessed in the area, which has forced some residents to leave their homes.
Hii sasa ni maji mara ya tatu. Sasa sisi tunalia, hii maji sijui hata itaisha lini. Kuanzia mwezi wa 3 mpaka sasa hizi ni mwezi wa 9 inakaribia mwezi wa 10. Sisi tunaathirika na maji. Maji natusumbua. Tunahama kutoka huko Mabinzu, Buwanga, Malomba, Rukala, Bukeki, Mukumwanda na pia Mudimbia. Mudimbia kwenyewe mahali ambapo mjumbe amesaliwa pia yote imefurika na maji.
However, they have pointed an accusing finger at the government due to what they termed as empty promises to build permanent embankments as a solution to the Budalangi flood crisis and for turning a blind eye to the sensitive issue. They have also raised concerns over the mismanagement of funds that were issued for the construction of dikes, which until now have not yet been built.
Hiyo daiki imesemwa itatengenezwa, wakubwa wa maserikali wamesha kuja hapa na magari na kuja hapa inaangalia wanapiga picha.
There's very little we are doing. There's some specific machines which are used to desilt those entrances so that there are channels moving into the lake. There is a study which has been done over years which nobody is following. You know, the problem with the Kenyans is that whoever comes in power starts afresh. They never go back to the records. Let them go back to the records, check and see why do we have floods in Bunyala all the time.
Pesa zetu za kufanya permanent dike na kujenga canals to mitigate the floods zimekwama kwa mvuka ya nani.
The residents have called on the government to use research to find a permanent solution to floods in Budalangi that exposes them to diseases and to avoid a repeat where at least 159 families were displaced when River Nzoia burst its banks due to heavy rains. Eric Matika, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Eric Matika, for that. Now, a decade has passed since one of the deadliest attacks on Kenyan soil, for which the Somali-based Al-Shabaab militia claimed responsibility. The Westgate Mall attack, resulting in 72 fatalities and nearly 200 injuries, fundamentally altered Kenyan perceptions of their own security. It prompted a significant overhaul of security measures in places frequently visited by large numbers of Kenyans, including malls, hotels, and even public transportation. Our reporter, Moige William, conducted spot checks in various areas within Kiambu and Nairobi counties to assess the state of security.
On the 21st of September 2013, 4 masked gunmen attacked the Westgate shopping mall in Westlands, Nairobi. The attack resulting in 67 deaths, including 62 civilians and 5 Kenyan soldiers, and approximately 200 people were wounded. The incident changed Kenya's undertaking on matters of security. Today, I did a spot check in some of the areas where a huge number of people frequent to see if a decade later, Kenyans are still on high alert or things took a different turn. We're doing a spot check to different places, mostly malls, supermarkets where a lot of people frequent, talking of young, old, children. So we are having our laptop here. 3 things we're going to put them: a laptop, charger, and thorn melon. At these supermarkets, none of the security guards stationed at the main entrance bothered to check what I was carrying in my bag, and easily I was led through, finding hundreds of Kenyans busy shopping. On the second location, which is also a supermarket, and the security guards there behaved in the same way. They did not bother to check what were the contents of the bag. In fact, I was warmly ushered into the building. Two places where a lot of people frequent a lot, and no security guard was concerned to check what was inside my bag. No one. At a particular mall, however, things were a little different here. I was instructed to open up my bag, but the guard just took a peep and that was all. We are inside a mall, but there are 2 security checks, and both checks, they have done some look into the bag. Some good progress. In this spot check, we managed to make stops to more than 4 places, including supermarkets and malls, which led us into believing that more can be done to protect civilians from rogue elements in the society. Right, some places we are visiting, they are not doing the check, and the others, even if they are doing the check, they're just looking inside the bag, and that's it.
This Thursday, Kenya marked 10 years since the Westgate Mall attack on September 21st, 2013. This attack claimed the lives of about 67 people, or about 72 people, and left more than 100, close to 200 people injured. Speaking at an event meant to honor and remember the victims, the Private Security Regulatory Authority Director, General Fazul Mohammed, spoke on the importance of private security firms, whom he said have since emerged as invaluable allies to the national security organs during emergencies and tragedies. But the DG led media to a tour of about 4 shopping malls where he inspected the level of preparedness by the private security officers.
Security officers have for years been a reassuring presence in almost all spheres of our economic and society. This broad and deep penetration of PSOs, the average number, as we are talking today, of private security officers in the country is almost 1 million boots on the ground. Coupled with their daily interaction with fellow citizens across all social strata, strategically places the officers at the center of raw intelligence, giving them an unfettered access to a treasure of information vital to our planning and other security measures.
Now, away from that, as the world commemorated the World Peace Day, Kenya has seen increased sensitization, awareness creation and education on the need and importance of nurturing peace in the country to enhance social, political and economic stability. Consistent calls have been made to citizens and leaders to take individual responsibility to maintain peace in the country. Chichi Josephine tells us more.
Necessitated by the ongoing political differences and the continued spate of attacks and tribal conflicts that have been witnessed in various parts of the country, NCIC Chairperson Samuel Kobiar has revealed that they are working together with other stakeholders to tame the rampant banditry in Samburu.
Tuliamua kuwa na mikutano na Morans. Kwa sababu Morans ndio kama vile tunajua wanaweza kutumiwa na viongozi ili kufanya ile tunaita banditry au cattle rustling.
Leo watu wa Baragoi wanakaa vizuri, hata Marsabit hatukuwa napata usalama. Sasa miaka moja tunakaa vizuri sana kabisa. Kwa hivyo viongozi sisi tuko na jukumu ya kuhakikisha salama inaanza na sisi.
Elsewhere in Nakuru County, political leaders called upon Kenyans to coexist peacefully and tame tribalism, calling on the bipartisan talks team to conduct the talks peacefully.
Hatutaki Kenya ambayo iko na ukabila. Na maombi yangu leo ni ile bipartisan talks tuifanye vizuri.
Sisi tupendane kama watu ya Nakuru, sisi tufanye kazi pamoja. Ukiwa umetoka Nyanza kuja kufanya biashara hapa, feel at home. Umetoka kila mahali ya nchi ya Kenya, Nakuru County ni nyumbani.
In Baringo County, church leaders from the North Rift region celebrated the D-Day by calling on the government to set up military camps at the country's borders to check on infiltration of firearms through the porous borders as they start to mop out guns in the region for sustainable peace.
Calling upon the government to see that they put, say, some good barracks, especially these sides of Sudan.
When people are wounded, there will always be an aspect, you have more than I have.
In Machakos County, Deputy County Commissioner David Rotich urged Kenyans in counties that are prone to insecurity to collaborate with the law enforcement agencies in sharing information as a collective responsibility to ensure peace.
For areas that are experiencing conflict and insecurity, what is required is collaboration and cooperation between the citizens and law enforcement agencies in sharing information.
Chichi, Josephine, TV 47.
Now, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations has issued photographs of a female suspect wanted in connection to the tragic death of Eric Maigo, the finance chief at Nairobi Hospital. Maigo's lifeless body was discovered last week in his Nairobi residence, surrounded by a pool of blood. A subsequent post-mortem examination conducted last Saturday unveiled a gruesome truth. He had endured 25 stab wounds to his chest, neck and face. According to detectives, the suspect was captured on surveillance cameras leaving the victim's residence in Woodley Annex Upper, and it's believed that she played a central role in the murder before making her escape through the rear exit of the building. At the crime scene, 2 blood-stained knives suspected to be the murder weapons were recovered. And additionally, investigators collected blood samples from the house, indicating that the samples will be crucial in establishing the suspect's presence at the crime scene. Now, away from matters security, as the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio bipartisan talks continue, the latest opinion poll by TIFA indicates that 48% of Kenyans are in strong support of the talks. This as the polls indicate that 13% strongly oppose the talks. 48% of Kenyans believe that there is a high likeliness of the talks succeeding, hence leading to the end of protests and demonstrations from the opposition, while 21% think that they are unlikely to succeed, though not very certain. 46% of those who took part in the polls also opined that the talks will enable the Kenya Kwanza government fulfill its campaign promises if it reaches an agreement with the opposition. However, 38% thought of it as unlikely. The survey on the state of Kenyan politics found out that 45% of Kenyans strongly support the creation of the official leader of opposition role, while 21% strongly oppose this move. On the other hand, a majority of Kenyans, that is about 31%, strongly oppose the current office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, held by Musalia Mudavadi, while 27% of Kenyans strongly support CS Mudavadi's office. And on that note, let's take a short break. We'll be right back with a lot more. Please keep it right here on the home of Untold Stories.
It's bigger. Hourly cash wins. It's the Lotto Metamania. It's raining millions every hour. See your Lotto. Cheza Lotto Metamania. Ushinde 1 million every hour. Isitoshe, kuna mega grand draw ya hadi 200 million shillings kila Jumatano na Jumamosi. Cheza Lotto sasa. Timiza ndoto zako. Nenda kwa M-Pesa.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Muyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja.
0721-438-629 to learn more about our services and book your event.
Welcome back. If you're joining us right now, this is the Daily Report with me, Victor Muyakane, and on sign language we have Catherine Simaloy. Tonight, the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio representatives in the ongoing bipartisan talks have failed to break the stalemate after new issues emerged, which the opposition coalition Azimio say are crucial as a sign of goodwill and good faith. This is after Kenya Kwanza rejected in totality Azimio's proposals on 16 key issues or interim measures, among them the restoration of security withdrawn from Azimio leaders. And as Apollo Kamau reports, the issues have been referred back to the dialogue technical team.
The ongoing bipartisan talks at the Bomas of Kenya suffered a setback after Azimio and Kenya Kwanza representatives failed to strike the much-needed consensus on 16 pertinent issues contained in a report tabled during Thursday's sitting. Kenya Kwanza rejecting Azimio's proposals in totality, including new emerging issues that forced the team to go back to the drawing board.
Some, of course, are heavy. We have actually allowed the technical teams again to further unbundle, realign some of the issues that may not be in line with the express mandate of the committee.
Let us not speculate on other issues that were not part of our engagement.
For the first time in the talks, the restoration of security withdrawn by the government from Azimio leaders, suspension of the ongoing recruitment of IEBC commissioners, and the harassment of Azimio leaders by the state, proving to be a Herculean task for the National Dialogue team to find consensus.
It is continuing work, okay? Some of it, very good progress on security arrangements for all the leaders in the country, very good progress. Yeah, so leave it to us to execute this mandate. We all need it.
Political utterances outside the talks, the latest from the Azimio duo Martha Karua and Jeremiah Kioni, drawing condemnation during Thursday's sitting. Political utterances had been listed under the restoration of civil liberties, with the technical team citing political utterances outside the talks and tension along the Kisumu-Kericho border as a case in point.
Whatever is said in funerals, in rallies, in weddings, in the Rorashio events remains in those forums. What we focus on is what is said in the room here.
Azimio's fight for a share of the political party's fund was also listed as an interim measure before the talks begin, as well as reinstatement of the ban on logging, which was lifted by President William Ruto while in Molo.
There are issues that actually fall within the province of us, for example, in Azimio, telling these people, if you have seen the issue about logging, we will be telling it to them, to tell them they will outside there, because it's outside here. We will criticize them, all right? And even on the issue of the cost of living, it's our business to criticize them and stand on the side of whom we believe are right, the Kenyans.
Azimio and Kenya Kwanza tough wars in Parliament, where Azimio decisions on its leadership, especially in Jubilee, were overruled by National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula after failing to approve the removal of Sabina Chege as a deputy minority whip, was also listed. The cost of living, the audit of the 2022 election servers, and cessation of invasion of Azimio parties, also stalling progress in the talks. Apul Kamau, TV47.
A $10.1 million Development Impact Bond, or DIB, has been set to help in the fight against early pregnancies and HIV infections among the adolescents of Kenya. And as Elizabeth Atieno now reports, the program, funded by the DIB, will be implemented in 10 counties. The 10 counties that experience a significant burden of HIV and adolescent pregnancies.
20-year-old Faiza Achieng is a mother of one. She narrates some of the challenges young mothers face when accessing sexual and reproductive health services in different health facilities in the country.
Mtu kama mimi nikienda hospitali utapata ama discrimination, utapata watu wa ukimwi line up. So unajua mtu akishakuta mtu wa ukimwi line up ama muende dawa ile side, hiyo at least itakuwa naenda hapo. Then nikienda kama niko a 16-year-old aende apate aitishe family planning. Hata apewa tambewe mtoto mdogo umekuja kufanya nini na family planning. What do you want to plan and you are still a child? Yeah, unapata saa hiyo tunashai hope kwenda facility kupata service.
In a bid to solve some of the challenges that teenagers like Faiza face, over 300,000 adolescent girls aged 15 to 19 from 10 counties including Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Homa Bay among others will now benefit from a 2-year program on sexual and reproductive health services including HIV testing and treatment that will be funded by the 1.5 billion Kenya shillings Development Impact Bond launched on Thursday.
And therefore, part of the intervention within this process will be to conduct aggressive community awareness.
So an initial $7 million, that's about 800 million shillings, from the Joint SDG Fund in New York, has unlocked almost the same amount of capital already from public and private sector partners, and promises to unlock much, much more.
Stakeholders insist that the delivery of the services will be met with utmost transparency as they will be able to monitor how every cent is used to help the targeted population through the TICO platform, a mobile-based digital platform that directly connects the adolescent to nearby public and private facilities.
The clients, those adolescents themselves, to measure how well those services are being provided. They give feedback in real time, and the investors in the program only get their money back if performance is achieved.
According to the 2022 Kenya Demographic Health Survey, in 2022, 260,000 girls aged 10 to 19 were pregnant. An estimated 7,307, or 41% new HIV infections occurred among adolescents and young people aged 15 to 24. In 2023, HIV prevalence among the youthful population rose to 78%. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Welcome to Business News. And the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is pushing for a unified and predictable taxation system to facilitate small business entry into the Chinese markets for export. Ronald Meru, the chair of the Economic Diplomacy Committee at KNCCI, emphasizes that adopting industrialization practices, particularly in establishing business-to-business connections between the cottage industries and the Chinese manufacturers, is essential to the approach. And now this approach aims to eliminate barriers preventing Kenyan products from accessing foreign markets. However, Meru points out that the unpredictable taxation systems remain a significant obstacle to achieving this goal.
Kenya's economy is set to grow by 6% in the next financial year, mostly pushed through expansion of exportation of value-added goods processed in the EPZAs and SEZs. However, the embrace of these facilities has been relatively slow, as a majority of producers shun away from value addition due to impediments in exportation due to restrictive policies.
I know we're already engaging with even the Parliamentary Trade Committee to see how we can put a level playing field in terms of even having one tax regime. When you go to the counties, we want to have one tax compliant certificate. You don't have to have several tax certificates. We want to have a unified licensing and tax and licensing model.
So now we want through this exhibition to really put the heads together between the the buyer and the supplier, or the investor and the partners.
According to him, the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce is pushing for a predictable single tax regime to finally rid exporters of double taxes.
So this is something that is a challenge to the business community in Kenya. Let us not only import over 20% of what we're exporting, let's see what else we can export there. It doesn't have to be only in manufacturing, it can also be in the service industry. Let's see what else we can do.
These connections will be made especially for agro-industries, leaning towards climate-smart industrialization.
They really to see the potential of Kenya market and Kenya as a business hub towards the East Africa, this continent. So now we believe, these exhibitors, they have very sharp eyes. Yeah, and also that is how we understand this.
Kenya mainly plans to benefit the horticultural sector with the business-to-business connections from the expo. With trade volumes of more than 500 billion shillings in a year, the Kenya International Investment Expo promises to propel businesses to heights like never before. However, tax reforms are a major deterrent, especially for micro, small and medium enterprises, especially in the country. Hibak Said for TV47 Nairobi.
Thank you, Hibak, for that. The High Grand Falls Dam project is now officially underway. This, of course, with the initial drilling and feasibility tests scheduled to be completed within the first 6 months. The government has opted for a public-private partnership or PPP approach for the dam, which will serve Kitui and Tharaka Nithi counties. This arrangement allows for a foreign contractor to establish a presence and oversee the project until its completion. The project is being managed by a British construction firm and will undergo final studies and design tests before evaluation and determination by the PPP committee regarding the award. Financial, close and concession agreements of this very dam shall be determined by the same committee. Earlier this year, the government had expressed concerns about the funding of its ambitious plan to construct 100 dams with a budget of 1.7 trillion shillings and sought partnerships with private companies to help realize this goal.
Big impact in terms of the economic development of this country when you look at the components which you are talking about. So I want to believe it's a game changer in that region, in this country, because we are going to more or less stabilize power supply in this country, actualize the dream of food security in this country.
From our side, our message is very clear, not only to the UK investors and any other investor out there, that Kenya is ready, open and safe for business, and we mean business. And with respect to this project, it's as the Trade Envoy has said, it's one of our priority investment projects.
Right, and on that optimistic and ambitious note, let's take a short break. When we come back, we will have the conversation we mentioned earlier on. We're talking about inclusivity, and I believe the guest that we have tonight is an absolute surprise and an absolute treat. See you later.
You want to advertise your business or product and you are on a budget? Then Marquee Africa is the site for you. To advertise, upload a picture.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Moyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
Toka eneo hili la Naivasha kwenye kaunti 032, gatuzi la Nakuru.
Kutoka kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet, kaunti 028.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Wajir.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Turukana.
Kwa matukio yote yanayojiri katika kaunti hii 012.
Kutoka kaunti nambari 1, kaunti ya Mombasa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Lamu.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka Kisii County.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Machakos.
Kutoka kaunti hii ya Trans Nzoia.
Kaunti 038.
Kutoka gatuzi nambari 029, kaunti ya Nandi, chemichemi ya mabingwa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Kakamega.
Itakuwa nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Bungoma.
Jina langu ni Paula Munio.
Willy Dennis Jiru.
Fabian Kibet.
Mimi ni Hashim Jimal.
Mimi ni Kitio Mika Masai.
John Javakiania.
Jina langu ni Abdulaziz Nameka.
Mimi ni Kombo Alfayo.
Jina langu ni Nicholas Mbai.
Isaac Famba.
Mimi ni Wanji Sosti.
Jina langu ni Arnold Adidi.
Jina langu ni Chris Bet.
Jina langu ni Violet Auma.
Na TV47 inapotamba, mimi Sheila Chelangat nitakuwa nikiripotia masuala
promoting competence, innovation and excellence.
Radio 47 tuko nawe mchana kutwa na usiku kucha. 101.8 Garissa. Tunavuma na bado. Welcome to the Mwai Kibaki Convention Center.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Moyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
Toka eneo hili la Naivasha kwenye kaunti 032, gatuzi la Nakuru.
Kutoka kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet, kaunti 028.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Wajir.
Good evening and welcome to the part of the daily report every Thursday that we like to call The Insight. And on Insight tonight, we want to give you insight into something very different and something very, very cool, if I do say so myself. And to help me break this down, I have two people in studio. The first is Simon Adem. He is the chair of the Deaf Artists Culture Association of Kenya. And to help both of us do this a little bit better, we have Catherine Simaloy, who's of course our sign language presenter or interpreter, who's in the studio as well. So good people of Kenya, join me to welcome Simon Adem. Karibu sana. Hello, how are you doing? Hello, how are you? Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you for joining us. It's a great pleasure to have you in our studios tonight.
Thank you so much.
Fabulous. Now, let's start by talking to Kenyans about what you do. In brief, what does the organization do?
Thank you for that question. Like I said, my name is Simon Adem. I am the CEO, DACAC, Deaf Artist Culture Association. The main thing that we do with the organization is to advocate and also to showcase on deaf film, dancing, modeling, culture, and everything else around the deaf people. So I'm also a student.
Oh, great.
I'm still studying.
What do you study?
Taking hostess, sorry.
Oh, great, great. So tell me something. In your work and in, advocating for these spaces that you do, the arts and culture and film and music and so on, what challenges have you encountered?
There are a number of challenges, especially in our country now. The first thing that I will say is access to the information. As artists, we normally get the information quite late, and probably for when it comes to government programs about fundings and everything else, we get the information very late. That's the challenge. And another challenge is as deaf youth, it's very hard for us to get opportunities out there because, number one, we don't have funds. And another challenge, as deaf youths, once they complete their secondary school, for them to advance on the skills, probably like become an editor or what, it's also a challenge, or maybe to improve on their talents and help them, it's also a problem because they can't get the tuition fees. So they try and focus on other casual things that they can do and forget about the talent. So that's a big challenge also.
I see. So, a lot of what you do is related to the media, the arts and culture, the dance, the film, the music. This is all connected to the media industry. From where you sit, how would you say the media industry is doing in terms of inclusivity and opening up doors and spaces for you and the people in your association to be able to do that which you have a passion for?
Thank you for the question. Many media houses, I can say that they have actually been able to help the deaf people because most of us, we are interested in the area of the media, and they have been able to get an opportunity actually to interact with the hearing people so that it can be mainstreamed. And that is the way that we can actually be able to encourage access to information, also having sign language interpreters also. This will help their inclusion because there will be communication flow between the hearing society and the deaf fraternity. And this will help us to sort the gap that it is there. So it is good that the media houses also to continue creating more opportunities for the deaf people, especially those who have skills in editing and doing others, and probably also provide an employment.
Right, right. And from where you sit, again, what would you like to see happening in the media industry? I know you've said a few things. Tell us a little bit more about what you'd like to see. For example, picture this. You're sitting at home or in your office or wherever you are, and you switch on Kenyan television, the mainstream TV. What do you want to see there that will make you feel included?
From what I would like to see is a sign language interpreter, what we're having actually, but having an interpreter who is able to interpret all the programs that are being showcased, or the programs that are there, so that the deaf people also, like me, can be able to get to know what is happening and be able to understand on everything that is on TV actually. And also, most of the family members will be able to feel included, because some of them are so interested in sports, politics, a lot of things that are happening across the country and the world, and the deaf people really miss a lot from this. So if media house would be easier for them to at least include some activities that have the interpreters, or probably special programs that need an interpreters to be interpreted so they can be able to watch on TV. Once they see that, then they will just see that everybody cares and it will be easy for them to access information.
Right. Thank you. And so, as a member of the Kenyan society, this week particularly, a lot of people are concerned about security. We've just had 10 years of commemorating the Westgate attack. There's Kenyans across the country that are experiencing bandit attacks, terror attacks, and a few other things. What's your take on security? Do you feel well protected in this country?
Thank you for the question. I understand on security and the attacks that has been happening on the issues, and especially people with disability, what they are facing. There are many, many, many areas that the police are able to report as risk areas. But let me talk about the deaf person. How do we get to know that these risk areas? How are we able to know that wherever we are moving, there is enough security? If the only thing they're doing is to announce this on TV stations and be able to maybe send text and spread this information, but how fast is the information getting to us? You know, you see, for the hearing people, they will get it very fast, but how about the deaf person? We are actually left without being informed, or probably getting this information later. So on security issue, I think it is not fair. If it can be advanced in a way that we can be able to get information, that would be easier. So me as a deaf person, when I'm meeting with a hearing person, probably there is an attack happening. That information, how will I get it? It is, there will be a communication barrier, because I cannot communicate with this person who is trying to inform me about something. but having maybe an officer or a government officer who is responsible to make sure that every person in the country, especially people with disability, access information that will be comfortable with all of us. Make sure it is announced everywhere and everyone is able to know.
Oh yeah, that's a brilliant idea. That's a brilliant idea. And also recently, the last few weeks, we've had recruitments to the Kenya Defence Forces. There will be recruitments to the Kenya Police Service and all these other security organs. Would you like to see a representation of deaf people in these particular areas?
For the longest time, we have seen employment for other people, but no deaf person who have been employed as a security officer. On this one, they should be able that they include and make a decision that will be able to have deaf people being stationed somewhere so that they can be able to make a decision. And this goes to the policy makers. They should be having a deaf person in the panels who will be able to help them to provide information and explain to them how specifically a deaf person can be able to work as a security officer. Maybe when they look at a deaf person, they wonder how will this person be able to communicate with other people, and that is where you see most of the people actually who run for such jobs are the hearing people. So if that is done, then this will really help. And also they should be able to brainstorm on how they're going to make sure that it will become an inclusive, because when they are making the policy on something, probably something different about communication, talking about employment, and other simple things, they must also make sure that not to actually force on things, but be careful and provide to them.
Oh yeah, those are amazing ideas. And I do hope those who are listening to us actually taking note of these wonderful ideas that we're receiving this evening. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back with more with my dear friend Simon here after the break.
Ndio msiko inasikianga ikifanyiwa shopping, ikipepwa na kusukumwa namna hii. Oh my goodness. Loto inapeana.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Muyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
Welcome back to the Daily Report, and specifically on Insight tonight. I have, of course, Mr. Simon Adam. Simon is the chair of a very, very powerful association, and I want him to talk to us a little bit about this. Simon, your association primarily deals with the arts, you know, film, culture, dance, and music to a large degree. If somebody wants to consume this media, consume your performances, to see them, to participate, how do they do that?
Thank you so much for the question. In our organization, we're very open. We welcome everybody. We actually welcome all ideas, innovations from the hearing people, from the hard of hearing. We work together, and we actually like to see your area of interest. We actually make sure we develop and enhance a deaf person's talent. We pick different people who are skilled in different categories, and probably your area of interest is digital. We try as much as we can to enhance it. We do not like separating the hearing and the deaf people, so you all can join us and be able to get to learn what we do, and you will learn more.
Oh, great, great. Is there a website? Where's your offices if people want to come and visit and see what you're up to?
Welcome, everyone who is interested. We are on all social medias, on Instagram, Twitter, and also Facebook. We can communicate. It's Dakar, Kenya, so we also can communicate with me when you want to meet me, and we can meet in town.
Oh, great. So that is DACAC, that is the Deaf Artist Culture Association of Kenya, DACAK, DACAC, Deaf Artist Culture Association of Kenya. And it's the same on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of the social media. It's the same?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Now, I want to pick your brain on something. I want you to talk to me about the Kenya you'd like to see. So imagine tomorrow, this is, of course, we're imagining, Simon Adam is a president of the Republic of Kenya. You have 1 week. What are you doing in that 1 week, and why? Take your time.
If I become the president for 1 week, the first agenda that I will focus on is to make sure that I actually check on the challenges that are affecting people and then look for solution. The second place will be sports, culture, and work. How possibly can we make we can make Kenya be more inclusive, and also because you understand that most of the youth are unemployed, so we actually focus on education. What do we need to reduce from the education? How can we get a quality education? How can we create opportunities for those who are finishing up in schools? And also, how can we fund people who are unable to pay for their school fees? And also, we'll try and improve on the area. Let's talk about sports. We have a group for people for disability, and also we have a group for hearing people. I will make sure that when they want to do practices, they are able to access the practices area. Also, they are able to be marketed to be an international material. Also, if we have some people who are lagging behind, we try as much as we can that they are all on equal phase. Also, we'll make sure that we provide enough security for everybody. Make sure that I also make everyone else, make everything accessible in the country and achieve everything that everyone wants to.
Wow, that's a great thing. I think, Simon, you actually are a politician here, because, you know, the things you're saying sound very, very suspiciously like campaign promises. Hmm? Do you have plans to get into politics at some point?
I have never been a politician, but I'm a member of a political party, so I'm very active when we talk about politics in the country. I know sometimes you have to lie as a politician, but politics are nice music. So you have to make sure that you explore all the areas and try once, maybe probably you get into the office and change on some few things and make sure that everyone is able, you are able to accommodate everyone. So if you win, the promises you made with the few budget that you have, make sure you solve the problem and reduce all the issues that you might be having. So that is how it happens. So I understand politics.
Right. I see. Tell me something. Right now, the country is going through a political conversation. You know, the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza are having a conversation around, you know, a deal that would create some peace and some, you know, tranquility in the country. Do you feel that members of your association and the greater a group of Kenyans living with disability are well represented in those conversations? And what would you like to see different?
My honest opinion, the government that is in administration right now, on the area of disability, what Kenya Kwanza government promised to us, they have improved on inclusion a little bit. What is really happening is that implementation is lagging. They actually made a lot of promises and they said what they will actually they would do for us. So on accessibility and employment for people with disability, we are seeing that they have not been achieved. They have not fulfilled. So from those who are from the school, the teachers who are teaching on how to solve the problems, I think the government on inclusion issues, and also from the opposition party, there are few things that they need actually to present so that they can make sure that we are included publicly.
Right. Now, Simon, we have come to the end of our interview, but I'd like to give you an opportunity. I want you to talk to Kenyans. Speak a message to Kenyans from your heart. This is your chance. Go ahead.
First thing that I would like to say, as my organization, DACAC, we are planning an event on Saturday, that is 23rd September, in the University of Nairobi. And this will be Mr. and Miss Deaf Kenya. They will be showcasing their talents, and then they will be able to go and compete internationally. So first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone else. Please join us. And if you get this information, share out with everyone else. The other thing that I would like to tell Kenyans is support the government in place right now. Let us wait and see the development area, if it will be successful. And also, I would like to ask the president to listen to what Kenyans are saying, what they are asking you. They will definitely support you. I would like also to ask them to support the KSL bill that the MOU has been presented. And I would like the president to support. Also, when the bill probably goes to the parliament, ask all the members of parliament to support that and make sure that we have an inclusive country.
Wow, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm speaking to all the people that are watching us this evening. All the members of parliament, you've heard Simon. The president watches TV47, the home of untold stories, because this is where he gets the untold stories. The president watches. And so, Mr. President, Simon here has made an appeal, and I hope you've listened. And to all the people that have chosen to join us this evening for their information and for this insight, we wish to thank you for choosing the home of untold stories, TV47, for your news and your insight tonight. My name is Victor Muyakane. And tonight we had Simon Adam, the chairperson of DACAC, the Deaf Arts Culture Association of Kenya. And on sign language on the other side of the studio is, of course, the wonderful Catherine Simaloy. For all the people that made this program a reality, the people in the background, Emmanuel and your team, Mumbi and your team, we wish to say thank you so much. May you all have a good night full of God's blessings.